Oh, God. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, 5 listeners.
Welcome to Perhaps It's You, an unofficial Unsolved Mysteries rewatch podcast.
Does today have anything to do with Unsolved Mysteries?
Not especially.
No, not really. This is about us, the most important part of this podcast.
Obviously.
Me and Samantha. My name is Liz.
I'm Samantha.
We're going to answer some questions that you've had.
Heck yeah. I don't know when this episode's going to go out.
We've just wrapped up season 2.
I think so, yeah.
This is some extra super duper bonus content because we knew you had burning questions about
we knew you had
the
questions.
women behind the mics.
Is it just that we're pre-recording this because we got a bunch of shit going on in the beginning of September?
Is it because Samantha's about to get married and we're like, we're not going to be doing a podcast that week. We better crank out some filler content. No, of course not.
Of course not.
We know this is what you wanted,
yes.
and we're giving it to you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, do you have anything to tell our listeners before we jump into the questions?
I don't think so. Let's just do this.
Okay, we asked for questions on Instagram, in our Facebook group, and on our Facebook page. Oh, and Twitter.
Yeah.
So these are questions from all over. I didn't write down any of the names of who were asking these questions. Also, some questions got asked twice. So hopefully you hear your question in here and you get
Just
a
know
satisfactory answer.
we love you.
We love you so much.
We love you, 5 listeners. We couldn't do this without you.
We could not.
All right. Hit me with the first question.
Okay, the first question is, how did you meet and become friends?
It's a mystery.
It was actually a lost love type situation.
Yeah,
No,
it was a dark and stormy night. I descended from my castle wearing a crimson robe, and I looked out across the moor, and I saw Samantha.
There I was.
Drenched in the rain. And
This is
I said,
an interesting story.
I said, would you like to come inside and record a podcast about Unsolved Mysteries?
And I said, of course. That's my favorite thing ever.
I wish that was true.
That would be much more interesting than the actual story.
Yeah.
Which is that our love of podcasts brought us together.
Yeah, we actually met on Facebook, I guess, technically. And
Technically, yeah.
we're in a book club together. And
One day I was telling Liz about the Unsolved Mysteries Amazon episode, the Kurt McFall.
yeah, she got me to start rewatching Unsolved Mysteries. And then it was all both of us could talk about last summer. And then someone, while we were talking about this, was like, you should make a podcast about Unsolved Mysteries. And with basically putting very little thought into it, we were like, yes, we should.
Yeah, that's literally how it happened.
And we went to the library to record our first episode.
Yes, we did.
And we were like, the reason we say there's 5 listeners is because when I mentioned to people that we were thinking about starting a podcast, literally like 5 people told me, oh yeah, I would listen. So I was like, okay, well,
At least we have 5.
at least we have 5.
That's what we kept telling ourselves. 5 people will listen to this.
Because originally we were like, no one is going to listen to this. No one cares about us babbling about Unsolved Mysteries. But then we were like, no, we're going to do this for the 5.
At least 5.
And do some of those people not listen? Yes. But
Yeah.
they've been replaced by other people. So it doesn't matter.
And who are we referring to?
Our partners,
Yes.
maybe, possibly.
Yeah, maybe. Possibly, I
Maybe
don't know.
they really let us down. It's fine. I mean, we had known each other less than a year when we started this podcast.
Yeah.
We had like planned things together. We had like planned events together.
That
so
was about it.
I knew that Samantha was like a reliable person that I could work with and not want to murder.
Same.
But I didn't really know that much about her. So this podcast has been a learning experience. And I think we just got really fucking lucky.
I was just about to say, we also got really lucky because there's a chance that we could have...
I could have been on some political rant, and so I looked over the table, and Samantha could just be glaring at me, and she could have been like, Liz, respect the president. No, just kidding. I already knew that wasn't true. But you know what I mean. Like,
Right,
we could have
exactly.
had some very big ideological differences. And
then this podcast would have been done right then and there.
yeah, I'm kind of not great about disagreeing with people sometimes.
Same.
So,
Same. Like, I can't be in the same room with this person anymore.
yeah, it's like, well,
Sorry.
we're never doing that again. Bye. I'm definitely a person where if someone wrongs me, I'm like, well, now I got to burn down that bitch's house. Great. Was that part of the question?
I don't know.
Okay, that's how we met on a moor in the dark storm.
Do you want to do a question next?
Sure. Diana asked, what are Lenny's favorite treats? And I just found that hilarious because that was also the first question we got last time we did Q&A.
It was.
People
But
are
you
like
have another dog since then.
more
so.
into Lenny than like us, and that's
That's true.
fine.
That's
That's
true.
totally fine. So my dog, Lenny Briscoe, sort of the Is he like the mascot of the... No, Robbie Stacky is the mascot.
Yes, but Lenny and Curtis are the pod dogs.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so Lenny will eat his own shit. He's not a picky eater.
Would you say that's his favorite treat?
No. Okay, the other day he jumped up and grabbed a chicken bone right off my plate and swallowed it whole.
Lenny.
He's
a little rascal.
He is not a picky eater. And also, he sort of thinks he owns the place now after being here for a year. He's just like strutting around.
Oh, yeah.
Taking up the whole couch despite being a small dog somehow. No, they both Lenny and Curtis love those greeny things.
Okay. Yep.
Which is a shame because they are a fortune.
Real expensive.
But that's what they get before they go to Mad because they're spoiled.
Yes.
That's their favorite.
I think we had another question about dogs. Let me look on here. Just so we can get those out of the way. Oh, tell us about Samantha's dogs. Who are they? And then tell us more about Liz's new dog.
Oh, okay.
Curtis.
Sure.
So I have two dogs, Gracie and Renly. They came from the Humane Society. I don't know their history. They're both mutts. They came from southern states. Gracie came from Oklahoma.
Oh, Lenny came from Oklahoma.
Oh, maybe they knew each other.
Probably.
No, probably not. And Renly came from Indiana or Louisiana. I honestly don't remember. But they came up here from like high kill shelters and came to Minnesota to get adopted, which that's how they ended up with me.
Minnesota loves adopting pets, man.
This is a great place to be if you're a homeless pet
it just warms my heart.
Yeah, you won't be
It's one of my
homeless for
favorite
long.
things about this state.
Yes. So they came here. I got them through the Humane Society, which is not affiliated with the Humane Society of the U.S. It's just a local Minnesota Humane Society. And they've been great. I've had Gracie since she was a little puppy. I got her when she was 3 months old. They're about the same age, but I've had her since she was a puppy, and then I got Renly 3 years ago. So they're sweet. Yeah, that's them.
Should Samantha get another dog, everybody?
I might get another dog. Travis is
I can't
very
imagine
opposed to
having
it.
3, actually, because I only have 2 hands.
That's true.
And Lenny is already stealing chicken bones faster than I can stop him. So
the thing about my dogs lately is that as they've gotten older, Gracie's 8 and Renly is 6 or 7 approximately. They're really lazy. Like,
yeah,
I feel like a lot of people have high energy dogs that are high maintenance, and my dogs are super low maintenance.
That's nice.
Especially in the wintertime, neither one of them want to leave the house. So
so they're me.
Got it. Yeah, it's really nice. So they're couch potatoes. So getting a third one seems
or a
doable
hedgehog.
for me. Possibly a hedgehog. And then, okay, so they want to know about Curtis.
So my other dog, who I've only had for a couple months, his name is Ray Curtis. He was also adopted. He's supposedly 3 years old. Both of my dogs were rescues. Curtis is from Texas and Lenny is from Oklahoma. They were both in hoarding situations and got rescued out of that. So they're both a little weird. They both have some trauma they're processing. Lenny is, I think, pretty much moved on. He
really does think he owns this place.
Yeah, he sure does.
I've never pet Curtis. I hope to one day pet Curtis.
Curtis is still pretty shy, but just loves Mac and follows Mac around all day. So they're kind of the odd couple right now, where Lenny is like loud and boisterous, and Curtis just wants everything like to never change ever, and is much more orderly. But he really loves a walk.
Oh yeah,
so much. He could walk for like 10 miles. And he likes to eat grass.
Okay.
And sometimes barks at me just for getting off the couch, which is a little insulting to point out how rarely I do that. So if he could stop that would be great.
They're so precious. I love Lenny and Curtis, and it's so adorable that they look like they could be like brothers.
They're not
both
at
black
all.
and shaggy.
Yeah,
they're so cute. They make quite the pair.
Yeah, those are my pups, my furry sons. So Maxwell over at Relic Podcast asks us, what real life mystery generally creeps you out and why? And that does not have to be from Unsolved Mysteries. That could be...
What real life mystery generally creeps
You know what? I
me
have to
out?
say New Michelle.
That's a mystery that does creep me out.
So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go back and listen to our season 1 finale of Listener Stories. Someone wrote in with a story of New Michelle, and, well...
It's creepy.
Guess who wrote in with it? Michelle. Okay.
We're still talking about it, and it's been quite a while.
The creepiest story I think I've ever heard. It those listener stories were really spooky,
They
man.
were very spooky. Yeah. I would say the Mothman adjacent mystery of Indrid Cold.
Oh, yes. Actually, that might be even scarier.
Indrid Cold is just one of those mysteries that generally creeps me out. I find it so creepy.
Mothman documentary really did get to me.
Yeah.
And Indrid Cold in particular is scary as hell. Yes, that's a really good answer.
Creepy AF.
I don't think we've covered anything paranormal on Unsolved Mysteries that's really creeped me out yet.
No,
We've
I don't
covered
think
some murder cases that have creeped me out, but not in like a spooky way, in like a that's horrifying way.
Exactly. There was that the sock mystery that we actually did for when we recorded with Mike and Josh.
Yes, the orange sock.
The orange
thing.
sock.
That's terrible.
Was a scary mystery. I do think there is an Unsolved Mysteries about Mothman, but it's not till like season 6, so maybe that one will creep us out. I don't know, but
we're already creeped out about Indrid Cold though, so that's a really good answer.
Okay, someone asks, what is some of your favorite witchcraft-related media? Movies, podcasts, or books, etc.?
Oh, my favorite podcast is The Fat Feminist Witch.
Yep.
If you're not listening to that podcast, you absolutely should. It's by Paige in Canada, and she just talks about things in a really like relatable, understandable way. She does book reviews, she does interviews, she talks about different witchy concepts. She just did an episode about chakras that was really good. She recently did one about fat phobia, which isn't actually witchy at all, but is super interesting and really well done. So that is my favorite witchy thing. Also, if you're in the Twin Cities area, my favorite store is called The Future.
Ooh.
Which we're in the Wit District right now, and it's kind of called that because of the store, which is like a witchy store, and it also has classes and stuff. So if you're in the area, check that out. I love The Future.
Nice. Liz is much better for witchcraft-related recommendations than I am, but I did read a witchcraft-related book not that long ago.
Oh.
It's a YA novel called The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. The audiobook was really good. The narrator has this very like atmospheric voice, and like the story in general is kind of atmospheric, and I think it would be a great book to read in the fall around Halloween time. And it's about this town on this, well, there's an island in the town, but it's on the coast, and each year boys and men go missing from this town, and it's like these witches that like were they were killed for being witches, and then they have this like curse upon the town, and it's very interesting. It was good. It was about witches, and I really liked it. And if you like YA novels, I think you would like this one.
My other recommendation would be if you're in Chicago, the store Alchemy Arts is really good.
Ooh,
that's
nice.
also a witch store. And I've been reading different books about witchcraft, but I haven't really found my book yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I haven't found the one for me. Okay. KT wants to know Samantha's favorite ER episode or story arc.
Well, Dr. Green was my favorite character.
I know nothing about ER, so I'm just gonna be like, yeah, of course, sure.
So, I don't know. Okay, I don't know if Dr. Green was my favorite character, but I think the episodes that include Dr. Green are the best of ER. So I would
totally.
And it's been a really long time since I've watched ER, so trying to remember specific story arcs are a little bit difficult for me.
So
but
you need to do the rewatch podcast.
I know.
It's time for you to rewatch.
And I haven't had a lot of time. I've been meaning to. Now that it's on Hulu, I've been meaning to go back and rewatch ER. I just haven't gotten around to it. But yeah, I would say those episodes in particular are the best.
Okay. Are you going to start an ER rewatch podcast?
I don't got time for that. I would love to. I would love to. If there's an ER rewatch podcast out there, I listen to it. I should look. I haven't.
Yeah. There probably is. There's got to be at this point. There's a podcast about everything.
Pretty much.
We don't know how you found this podcast, but thank you. Because there's really so many.
Yeah. I don't know how people find this podcast
I have no idea.
honestly.
So thank you very much.
So someone wants to know, what is the hardest part of hosting a podcast?
I guess just the time.
I was about to say the time. It's just a little bit of time consuming, especially if you're trying to put out an episode a week.
Samantha's got to commute to my house every week. That's probably the hardest part, and I don't have to do it.
That's not terrible. It's just, you have to have time to record. If you're like us and you're rewatching a show, you have to watch the show, and it takes about twice as long to watch the show because you're usually taking notes.
Yeah.
You have to pause and stuff like that, and then editing the podcast. So keeping a steady stream of episodes coming out each week can be a little bit time consuming, but if it's something you like, it doesn't feel like a chore.
Yeah, sometimes coordinating our schedules is a little difficult, but also, do we really do anything
No.
If we're not on a ghost tour, or we have, I don't know. So
Pretty much.
it's just a time commitment, I think. But it's something fun for us to do.
Yeah, as long as you like it, it doesn't feel like a lot of work. So that's probably the hardest part.
Okay, Josh at Uncovering Unexplained Mysteries asked us, what are we going to do when we get to the end of Unsolved Mysteries?
Oh my god, I try not to think about that one.
I told him, I already answered this question when I said we become a Kitchen Nightmares podcast. I think we've established that. I mean, there are some segments that aren't on Amazon. I guess we could do those. Or are we even gonna, this is like years away. Are we even going to still want a podcast?
There are 13 seasons of Unsolved Mysteries. We've done 2. So far, we've done 2 in about a year. So that's several years left. Yeah. Who knows where we're going to be in several years? Yeah. We may be burned out. I don't know.
Samantha will hate me by
Who
then.
knows?
We don't have to worry about it.
Who knows? Okay. Fuck, marry, kill. Gordon Ramsay, Robert Stack, young Harrison Ford.
Oh my god. Okay. Damn.
Okay, I put some thought into this because I've been writing down these questions. I would say marry Gordon Ramsay because that food.
Sure, okay.
You would eat well for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Why do I have to kill any of them? This is terrible.
That's the game, Liz.
This is terrible.
I don't know. I would fuck young Harrison Ford.
Well, yeah.
And then I'm sorry, guys, I would kill Robert Stack, but only because he's already dead. So, like, we're kind of already used to it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I think that's actually a really good answer. Well, because I was going to say, obviously I need to fuck young Harrison Ford, but also, he's been divorced a couple times. I don't know that that's, like, a great marriage pick.
Okay.
And he, like, he cheated on one of them with Carrie Fisher. Kind of understandable, but...
Kind of.
I don't... Yeah. Is he great marriage material? I don't know that he is.
True.
Is Gordon Ramsay going to yell at me for being a moron all the time? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't really want to marry any of them. But I don't want to kill any of them either.
Well, you have to.
This game's terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry Stack was a snack, people. That doesn't really...
Stack was a snack.
Someone said that one. That doesn't really do it for me. We've seen that picture of him playing tennis. Yes. You don't need to send it in. Thank you.
I've seen it.
Thank you. Okay, next question. Adela asks, has anyone else ever complained about you laughing?
Has anyone else?
Yes.
Besides what?
Besides the cackling
Joffrey
guy.
That's right.
I never really felt like I laughed very loudly until we started this podcast. Never really thought about it. But since then, every so often, we'll be meeting friends somewhere, and someone will come up and say, like, oh, I wasn't sure I was in the right place, and then I heard your laugh. So, I guess I do?
Yeah, I haven't had, other than Joffrey, any all-out complaints about my voice.
No.
I've had people give me what they think is helpful advice about my voice, but not overt complaining about my voice.
No, that kind of is reserved for the internet, I guess.
I think so. Okay, so this one, actually, I know who this was. This was Amanda, who has designed several things for us. Shout out, Amanda. You guys talk a lot about books, and I love that as an avid reader. I also love music. What I read and listen to influences my art heavily. So I'm curious what your favorite bands or albums are.
Yeah, Samantha. What are your favorite bands and albums?
I'm going to leave that question to you. Because I honestly don't listen to music.
You guys, Samantha is so dedicated to podcasts and the podcast world and audiobooks that she doesn't have time for music. She doesn't care what notes you're putting out there. No.
I'm not on SoundCloud. I listen to zero music, unfortunately.
I'm glad this is not the first fact that I learned about Samantha, because I probably would have just turned and walked away. It's like, I don't know how to deal with that.
How can you live your life without music? I don't know.
I love to talk about music. I was really excited to see this question, and I was like, oh boy, great. I can't wait to just babble about music that I like.
Let's hear it. Can you pick a favorite?
See, but now I'm like, where to even... Okay, so the official band of this podcast, first of all, is Choir Boy, because we gave away a record of theirs weirdly once, because I ended up with 2 copies. Totally normal thing.
Totally normal.
I saw them a couple months ago, and they were great. So... there you go. We have an official band. Perhaps it's you, and it's Choir Boy, and they're from Salt Lake City. I'm one of those annoying people that's way too into the Smiths.
Okay. Yeah.
And Samantha knows this.
I do.
And I try to work that into conversations on a regular basis because I can't help it. But I'm currently recovering. I feel like I'm a recovering addict in that case. You don't have to at me with what you hate about Morrissey. I've heard it. I know. I'm sick of his shit too. We're broken up. So I'm trying to move on a little bit, but I just love new wave, post-punk music. If it was recorded in England in 79 and it's sad and a little bit gay, oh my God. That is my heart. That is my heart and soul. What was the first album you ever bought, Samantha? Do you remember?
I think it was a Backstreet Boys album. Actually, I don't think I know it was Backstreet Boys.
I'm going to say mine because it makes me sound really cool, which was I bought Bjork's Post.
Of course you
on
did.
on cassette, motherfuckers. Because I am a 500-year-old vampire and I have seen empires fall before me. Was everything I did at that age that cool? No, but it just turns out that is the first album I got, and it is fucking solid. It stands up to this day.
That's hilarious.
The first album that I really loved and was like, oh, I get music now, was Tori Amos's Little Earthquakes, which hilariously was given to me by my guitar instructor. Okay. If your guitar instructor gives you a piano-heavy album and says, I think you would like this.
Take the hint.
That's a sign that you are not meant to play the guitar. But, yeah, I don't know. I could talk about this for another 20 hours.
Maybe that's the podcast you should start.
I was thinking about that, actually. But I feel like music is a little bit like sports. And if you get one tiny detail wrong, the wrath of God descends upon you.
That's true, I think. And that's why I never talk about music. It's not like I dislike music. I just am not with it, and I don't listen to a lot of music, so I never talk about it. Same with movies. Because I'm like, I'm not going to get anything right.
I mean, that kind of doesn't matter. I once had a coworker say to me, and I find this really sad, that she doesn't get into music. She's afraid she's going to pick the wrong thing. And I was like, well, that's impossible. If you like it, it's not.
If you like it, it's the right thing.
Unless it's like skinhead music, like
yeah,
you're fine.
Unless it's that, then it's the wrong thing.
I guess my other favorite band is Pulp.
Okay. Because
I would describe my sexuality as 1996 Jarvis Cocker. Oh my God, what? And Different Class is just like, that's a flawless album.
I'm sure there's people out there that understand.
Samantha's
what you're
like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But if you want to go see the sexiest thing I've ever seen, go find a Pulp concert recorded in Germany. It's on YouTube from 96. Oh my God.
I'll have to look that up.
He used to wear these sunglasses on his head for some reason. I don't know. It just works. Yes. Everybody's like, Liz, stop. I could go on for another, 5 days. Anyway, God, I was really looking forward to that question.
I can tell.
And I have so much more I want to say, but I'm going to stop. Am I going to use this as an opportunity to make a playlist for the podcast group?
Ooh, yeah, you should do that. I think there's people that would really like it.
I am definitely
Go join our
that.
Facebook group if you want access to Liz's playlist.
So I can pretend that you wanted to listen to that. That would be really great for me. Thank you.
Okay, next question.
Okay, Mary Jean asked, Samantha, are you going to have any Unsolved Mysteries elements in your wedding?
Question. I hadn't thought about it, and I'm probably going to say no.
Yeah, I can't really imagine Travis would be on board with that.
I also can't think of anything Unsolved Mysteries that I'd want at my wedding.
You're not going to walk down the aisle to the theme song?
Well, we're not going to have an aisle, but if we did, it probably would not be that.
Samantha's wedding is going to be quite intimate.
Very small. We're going to have 4 guests. 6 if you count our photographer and our officiant.
Those are guests. Maybe a guest.
Very small wedding. I will say that, like the nerds we are, we have written our vows by piecing together Game of Thrones quotes.
That's amazing.
Because that's just we're letting our nerd flag fly there.
Ooh,
but
how excited are you about that Wet and Wild, clearly Game of Thrones inspired makeup
I might
collection?
buy the entire thing, which fortunately Wet and Wild collections, it's like, what, $40 to buy the whole thing?
Yeah, not even, I don't think.
So I'm extremely excited about it. I will literally buy anything Game of Thrones related. Do I own? I've also read all the books several times, and I own all of the books. But they came out with like a collector's set that aren't like meant to be read. They're really small, but they're like leather bound, and it was like 50. Did I buy that? Yes. Am I gonna read it? No. It's just how much I love Game of Thrones.
I get it.
Song of Ice and Fire. So yeah, I will definitely buy that makeup.
Sorry that I interrupted your wedding talk to say at like 1 a.m. I saw an email from Wet and Wild about it, and I was like, oh my god, Samantha,
you'll love this, and you were not wrong. So no, I'm not having any Unsolved Mysteries.
You're not gonna have the officiant wear a trench coat and like come out from behind a bush or something.
You know, it's a little too late, I think, but
Robbie Stackey could be a witness. And then
I'd love to have Robbie Stackey there. We could have some photos with him.
Can Lenny and Curtis come?
I think Curtis would bark at me the whole time.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
and Lenny
maybe
will
not.
probably just jump out and ruin he'll like spill something, and yeah. Anyway, that would be a terrible idea. Don't do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's borderline bad juju to have Game of Thrones elements in your wedding, I feel like. It's probably really bad juju to have Unsolved Mysteries elements in your wedding. I'm not superstitious, but it would be a little ironic.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Okay, so I'm assuming this means what do you prefer or what do you think is better? The question is wanted or unsolved murder. So which segments do you prefer?
Oh, unsolved.
Unsolved murder for sure. I don't particularly like the cases that are unsolved because you want some resolution, but America's Most Wanted segments, which is essentially what a wanted is, doesn't interest me.
Yeah, occasionally it's like an interesting case anyway, but usually you already know who did it, and it's usually some sort of robbery or something. They don't tend to be as mysterious or compelling stories, I don't think. No. Oh, I don't know who this is from. But it says, do you both or one of you believe in ghosts?
Oh, I don't know if I want to say I'm on the fence about it.
I would say I'm agnostic about ghosts.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe in them, but I wouldn't say that they're not real.
I'm just not sure.
I personally feel like when you die, and that's it. But people all over the world believe in ghosts. It crosses like cultures and religions, and I'm not going to dismiss it out of hand. It seems possible to me.
Yeah, you can't dismiss everyone's experience because so many people have ghost experiences.
People, have really credible ghost stories, and why would they be making that up? I don't know. So
exactly.
And I feel like doing this podcast, I don't know if it's made me more open-minded or it's just like, it's definitely permission to do fun stuff that we want to do anyway, which I appreciate about it. But then I think it also is just like, why not? Why not believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the harm?
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so someone wants to know if you could have lunch with any of the people featured on Unsolved Mysteries, alive or dead, who would you pick?
What a weird question.
You know who immediately came to mind when I read this was Teresa, who was that missing person Matthew's friend.
Yes.
She seems super cool.
Stylish Teresa,
Yes.
Fashion icon.
Yes. I think she would.
So weird because the person that popped into my mind was Matthew Chase, which is the person that segment was about. That's so, of all the cases, we both were like,
that's
that
the one.
ATM case.
Yeah, they both seemed really cool. Like, they would be fun to have lunch with.
Yeah, like
R.I.P.
Matthew Chase
Matthew.
like took a mannequin to prom. He just seemed like this like Ferris Bueller type character, and I was like, oh, he would be fun to have lunch with.
And his friend Teresa would come along, and it would be a great time.
Yeah, that's what we would do. The four of us would go out, and it would be great. It would be epic.
Hell yes.
Oh, now I'm kind of sad.
I know. R.I.P. Matthew. So this is kind of an iconic question, which is who should host the Unsolved Mysteries reboot? I know we've talked about this before.
I mean, I don't think she's going to do it, but Gillian Anderson is who I would want. That's my ideal. I think she would be great. I think she has the savage, cold demeanor that Unsolved Mysteries requires. I think you already associate her with spooky stuff.
Exactly.
She would look great in a trench coat because she looks fucking great in everything. She's hotter than ever. That is who I would ideally want. If we couldn't have her, my second choice would be Lance Henriksen. He's getting... I hate to say this, he's getting a little up there. I don't know how much longer he's going to be on this plane. So maybe that's not the greatest choice, but he has just the best voice ever.
Yeah. I'm definitely on board with a female host.
Yeah, I would like it to be a woman.
That would be nice. So I think we could get like Mariska Hargitay.
That would be great.
I think she would do a good job. She's definitely, she has the Law and Order background, so
yeah,
the aesthetic is there.
Yeah, and I just think she would take it seriously, and I mean, she's beloved, so it would get a lot of people to tune in and hopefully solve some mysteries.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could both host an episode of Unsolved Mysteries, which mysteries would you pick? And they specify that it can be any mysteries in the world. Oh. I think Mothman. I would want Mothman to be in our episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah, okay. I kind of want crop circles to present the hedgehog theory in like a longer... I don't want to dismiss it as quickly as that expert did. I want to do deep dive on the possibility that it is hundreds of hedgehogs marching in a circle. Also, I'm just really fascinated by that... I might get this name wrong. Audrey Moat case.
Oh, yeah.
The Louisiana case where... You probably remember it because...
She was running into the swamp in her slip.
Yes. That woman that went missing...
Super spooky.
While having an affair and is possibly just this creepy guy that was shooting at people from his porch. And... Ugh. I would love... If I could pick a solution to a mystery, I think I might pick that one. And so that would be a good one to host, too.
I also just love the idea of us hosting an episode of Unsolved Mysteries. Like, we're both wearing trench coats.
Yeah.
And we're just, like, in some, like, exotic locale. I think that would be hilarious.
And some, retirees are tuning in and they're like, who the hell are these people and why did they get a host on Unsolved Mysteries?
We host a podcast.
And then they go,
what's a podcast?
What's a podcast? Oh, yeah.
Producers of Unsolved Mysteries, if you're listening.
Yeah. I'm sure you hate us, but give us a call.
Call us.
Yeah, call us. We'll do it. We're cheap. Not union, so...
This is a very serious question, Liz.
Okay, I'm braced.
Do you think Robert Stack was a boxers or briefs man?
Oh, I already said I was leaving this question to you.
Briefs for sure. Come on.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, he's old timey.
Of course, briefs.
Boxers didn't even exist.
Yeah.
When he was,
and if they did, could you see Robert Stack wearing Superman boxers?
He's wearing those sock garter things, and you know it,
right?
I don't think he was taking Elizabeth Taylor to bed and then taking off some boxers. Think about it.
Think about it.
No.
Not I've just been running with the questions. That was all you had, right?
That's all I got.
I've got a bunch more.
I've got some getting to know you questions that no one asked.
Oh,
if we need more questions.
Okay. Some of these aren't going to take us very long, so we may get to those. Jazz Loon or Jazz Wolf?
Oh, Jazz Loon.
Jazz Loon's the original. Jazz Wolf is fine, but there's nothing like Jazz Loon.
There's just something so random about loons. The Jazz Wolf is yes, hilarious, and if there was no Jazz Loon, I would think it was the greatest thing ever. But
there's Jazz
Loon, so who the fuck cares about Jazz Wolf, right?
Exactly.
Throw that in the garbage. Okay. That was very serious. That and the fuck, marry, kill question. Very serious.
Very serious. What segments of Unsolved Mysteries are you looking forward to? And which ones would you prefer to skip?
All right, here's the thing. I've only watched a little bit of season 3. We're kind of going into uncharted waters.
I have watched none of season 4.
We're in the here be monsters part of the map. We don't really know what's coming forward. We were not looking forward to doing the RFK segment.
Nope.
Which we are recording later today.
Yeah, no, we're not looking forward to that. I would also be fine with skipping frauds. Those just...
Yeah, usually.
They're kind of all the same. They're not super interesting. Occasionally we get one that has a weird element, like an old lady selling fruitcake.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Yeah, but for the most part, frauds are pretty boring.
Yeah, those aren't great. I've really come around on the Lost Loves, and I sort of love them now. I've realized when we were talking about the teen murder spree case, the Gainesville murders, that I'm really glad we don't do just a straight up true crime podcast, because that was not fun to talk about.
It's really nice to get the weird, quirky, random mysteries thrown in, because then we can actually make jokes. If it was just all brutal murder, I don't know.
I wouldn't want to do it, honestly. I did not enjoy talking about that. I didn't enjoy learning about it.
No,
I kind of wish I didn't know. I mean, some of these segments make us cry. There's it's a whole mixed bag. So, yeah. So, I don't know what my point is. Thank you, Unsolved Mysteries, for not just being Forensic Files.
Exactly.
Because you would be like, well, another woman was brutally murdered by a man she thought loved her. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Being a woman is terrible. Thanks.
Hard
Thanks.
to make jokes about that.
The people you think you love you might murder you. Just keep it in mind.
It's great.
Great.
It's great.
It's a great world.
Yes. I don't know who asked this question now. I went to write down the name, but I didn't. When are you coming to my house for nachos? 3 question marks. Listen, I
don't know.
I love me some nachos. So
Are you in the area? Do you have nachos?
These are questions we need answered.
We might have to meet in a public place, but you know what?
If you're not weird, we'll come to your house for nachos.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. We eat food people just send to us, so we're not that picky.
It's true.
Also, send us snacks.
That's
Thanks.
super safe.
The snack supplies are low.
The snack supplies have dwindled. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Looking over at the shrine, seeing no snacks.
Someone wants to know what the scariest murder segment is, and we've kind of already touched on this.
All right.
Orange sock was
The
scary.
orange sock, the Audrey Moat case, the Matthew Chase case isn't really that scary. It just like got to me.
Yeah.
The other one, I can't remember the victim's name, and I apologize, but is a woman who was murdered in her home and left between the washer and dryer.
Ooh, yeah. When she went down to sell puppies.
Yeah, that's awful.
Oh, that one was scary.
And then her small toddler is like the witness, and
Yep, that one was brutal.
Horrible.
Brutal.
And also, yeah, the Gainesville case we just covered was
That one was
so
terrible.
and
the
unnecessary.
One, and I also forgot the victim's name, but he was the banker that was put on the chair.
Oh, Dan Short, that fucking chair.
Yeah. We just covered that one. That one was really scary.
And also the Las Cruces bowling alley massacre.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about that later today.
It's terrible.
Yeah, you've already heard that one if you're listening to this episode.
It's really, really awful.
Yeah, so there's a lot of scary murder segments. The thing Unsolved Mysteries does too, which we kind of realized when we were talking about the Dan Short case, is that just the way they shoot it is really spooky. Because if you watch the forensic files on that case, it's
no, it was all about duct tape.
I mean, it's murder, and murder's always scary, but it wasn't spooky the way that Unsolved Mysteries shot it. So
good thing I watched this show as a child. Clearly didn't make me the person I am today.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So someone wants to know, how did you decide what to do with your lives?
That is a presumptive question.
Yeah, this assumes that we know what we're doing with our lives.
Yeah, when I figure that out, let me know, because I am unaware that I have.
Yeah, and I think...
I mean, when did we decide to become the world's most famous podcast host?
On a whim?
Well, yeah, when we were sitting in a bar talking about Unsolved Mysteries incessantly, and someone said, you should host an Unsolved Mysteries podcast, and we were like, maybe we will, bitch.
I know.
And then we did.
And I'm pretty, I feel like I'm on a career path that I like, but I stumbled into it. I wasn't really planning on doing what I'm doing now, so I wish I had like a really philosophical answer for you, but I don't.
I have no idea what I'm doing, so
unfortunately,
I can't answer that question. Get back to me when you figure out what I'm doing. Let me know.
Yes, or give us some advice, because we could use it.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could have a podcast about anything else besides Unsolved Mysteries, what would it be?
I sort of am like, why don't I have a podcast about post-punk music? Because I got so excited to answer one question.
Yeah, you might need to have that. Obviously, Kitchen Nightmares.
I feel like Samantha should do like a book podcast.
I would like that, actually. Yeah,
maybe
I would
if you
do a
did
podcast
like
about
a
books.
much shorter podcast, was like 15 minutes, where you're just like, you should read this book.
I love BookTube, which is people who have YouTube channels where they just talk about the books they read.
Yeah.
So I would do a book podcast.
I feel like you should do something like that.
That sounds like a lot of work, but that is the podcast I would do if I had another one.
What would you call it?
Oh, that's a good question. I have no idea.
Read a book.
Read a motherfucking book?
Yeah.
Which is a chant we heard at the rally we went to a few weeks ago.
Samantha and I were rioting, as usual. No, we were protesting, as is our civil right. And one of the chants was, read a book, read a book, read a motherfucking book. And I've never seen Samantha happier, honestly.
Honestly, that's like, my war cry.
That's her kink.
Yep. Read a motherfucking book. I don't know if that would get past the iTunes checks or whatever, but
well,
read a motherfucking book.
Whatever.
Let's see. We're coming to the end of all the butts on Unsolved Mysteries. Which butt is the best butt?
Yeah, that's a question for you because somehow I'm not noticing these
Liz
things.
never noticed the butts. There's so many tight jeans in this show.
I don't know. I guess that's not what I'm into.
Only two butts really stand out to me.
So revealing. The reenactor. Oh, that's another really horrible crime
I know.
case.
That's the thing. I don't want to say that the butt in that mystery was the best butt because it was such a sad case, but it was the reenactment.
It wasn't the victim.
It was
we wouldn't do that.
No,
we're not garbage people.
No. It was the actor who played the victim in the case where the couple from Canada were murdered.
The lesson and why you should never come to the United States.
Yeah.
They visited here and were immediately brutally murdered, and it's so terrible.
It's really. But one of the reasons why I talked about that butt is because everything else about that segment is horrible. So it was like, well, this guy had a nice butt.
That's the only light in the darkness.
It really was. So that actor had a really great butt. And then, what's
cocaine.
his guy? The cocaine. The actor who played the cocaine runner.
Suspicious amount of boxes and perhaps a hat, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember what he was wearing on his head.
We might have been looking at different parts of him, so we're unsure if that was the same actor or not.
I think this is the last question I have, which is, what are your favorite flavors of LaCroix?
Okay, I am an apricot bitch. Because it kind of tastes like peach, clearly Canadian. The drink of my youth.
Yep.
And it's very similar, it's just not as sweet. So I also really like coconut and pamplemousse. No, not pamplemousse. Passion fruit.
I like passion fruit and I like coconut, but I am a Polar fan all the way now. I don't really even buy LaCroix anymore.
Samantha's like, LaCroix, what's that?
Because I love Polar water.
That's my bath water now. I only drink Polar.
And I found that the CVS by my house carries the Seltzer-Aid line. I haven't been able to get blueberry from them because I think someone's going there every day buying out before I can get there. But the mango one is really good. And then someone posted in our Facebook group that Polar has this like mythical creatures line of they have like
I thought that we were being pranked for a second.
They posted a picture so I know it's real. They had like a Yeti flavor, a mermaid flavor. I don't know where you could find this.
It's too appropriate for you.
I know.
It was like your favorite beverage comes in mythical creatures and you're like, what? That's like
there's not a Mothman flavor yet.
That almost makes me go,
from Polar
there's a god.
I know. But the problem is that I don't know where I could possibly find this because I can barely find the blueberry. I don't know how I'm going to find unicorn flavor.
Because also, it's funny that something that's hard to find would be unicorn.
Yes, I think it's very appropriate.
Yeah.
I want to taste it so bad, but I don't know where it is. I don't know. I really like the Polar water. It's just really flavorful.
It does taste more like a natural fruit flavor.
Mm-hmm. The blueberry literally tastes like blueberries. It's so good. I've yet to try the watermelon lemonade, but I think that would be really refreshing.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah.
I love how seriously we're taking this question. Like, most people would be like...
It was like a joke question, but we're like, let me tell you.
All right, you got 20 minutes? I got a lot of thoughts and feelings. Let's break this down.
Yes. We take seltzer water very seriously.
Did I text Samantha this morning to warn her that we were out of LaCroix in the house? Because I thought maybe she would want to stop. It's like, look, I'm sorry. There's no LaCroix.
I'm going to be late because I got to get some LaCroix.
I really need a grocery shop. There's nothing in the house. Okay.
That was our last question.
All right.
Do you want to ask a few more? We got some time.
Yeah. I just pulled off one of those stupid, like, getting to know you question tags off the internet. And let's see if any of these are interesting. Samantha, are you named after anyone?
My Samantha is just a name that my parents liked. My middle name was going to be my first name, which is my maternal grandmother's name, and that is Mabel.
Oh, that's right.
But my mom and dad had a big fight before I was born about my name. My dad thought that I would hate them forever for giving me an old lady name, as he called it.
Is that true?
I think the name Mabel is very pretty. And I don't know any Mabels. There was 7 Samanthas in my grade in high school.
Oh, my God.
But I also really like the name Samantha. So, yeah, I'm indifferent.
You're named after the American Girl doll, as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
My first name is not Liz.
Surprise.
It is Sarah. My full name is Sarah Elizabeth. I started going by my middle name after the 5th grade when we had a Sarah Plain and Tall unit. Also, there was like 7 Sarahs in my class, and it was terrible.
That's a common name, yeah.
That is the most common name of the year I was born. So I'm named after my great aunt, Sarah Elizabeth. So sorry to her that...
You changed your name?
Sorry to her ghost that I go by Liz now. Question 2. When was the last time you cried? Probably like on this podcast talking about Unsolved Mysteries for me.
I cry a lot, so it's really hard for me.
Yeah,
I think
also,
the last time Okay, so I just finished a series of books, and the last book was very sad. It had a very sad moment. It had a very sad end to a character, and I cried reading that book.
Fair enough. What book was that?
It was the Red Rising trilogy, and I'm not going to say which book it was because I don't want to spoil which character died. Sure. But that's a trilogy I would really recommend if you like sci-fi. It was great. And the book that I cried in literally ruined me. It was the saddest book I've read in a long time, but also one of my favorites. So
this is why I have not been reading that much fiction lately, is that I used to read I like sad sack music. I used to read a lot of sad sack novels, and I'm just like...
Can't do it.
I'm not up for it these days.
I get it.
I'm not up for books that are like, what is the purpose of life? Why are we... It's like, yeah, I don't know.
No.
Things are terrible.
Yeah, that's why I'm reading sci-fi also instead of like contemporaries. Because
you're going to join the Space Force? I think the Space Force is fine so long as President Trump is on the first rocket
to the sun.
To the sun. Yeah. He should lead by example. Exactly. Into the sun. Okay. Do you use sarcasm a lot?
Never.
No,
Never.
I don't know.
I don't know what that one's talking about.
I frequently think of a girl in high school who told me that sarcasm is a stronghold for the weak and laugh. This happened, I don't know, 20 years ago. I'm still laughing about it.
Stronghold for the weak.
First of all, what teenager talks like that?
What?
Yeah, she was trying to tell me to knock it off.
Fun at parties.
Yeah. And I probably said something sarcastic to her, like that. Like, oh yeah, great. Also, can I stop it? No. It's like in my DNA. That's just how I am. All right. What is your eye color, Samantha?
My eye color is green.
My eye color is, hazel, I guess.
Yeah. They look brown right now, but
they're
hazel
greeny,
eyes change colors, which is...
greeny, browny witch eyes, according to my mother. Okay. Scary movie or happy endings?
Happy endings. I don't watch scary movies.
Yeah, I guess neither of those things. I'm not really into either of those. So no. That's my answer.
Sure. Liz likes a tragic, horrible ending to her movies.
Maybe that's why I'm not really watching a lot of movies these days. Because, I don't know. My sad sack taste is just bumming me out. Favorite smells?
So
I like how random these questions are.
This is really random. I like eucalyptus.
Sure, yeah.
That's a lovely smell. I love the smell of alfalfa. If you grew up on a farm, that might bring back some happy memories.
I've had guinea pigs.
It brings back happy memories for me. I don't know. I don't particularly like floral scents. I like clean scents. That's my preference.
Sure. My favorite smell is rice cooking in a rice cooker.
That is a disgusting smell to me.
I love it.
That's very specific.
That's just like from my house growing up.
Okay.
But
it has happy memories.
White rice cooking. I love that smell.
That's so funny because that's like one of my least favorite smells.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
I wish that was a perfume. I would spray that on myself.
I'm glad it's not.
Love it. Lenny barks at the rice cooker, and then I'm always like, you are no son of mine.
Maybe it's haunted.
He just doesn't like the clicking noise it makes, but
okay.
Also, it's making us rice. Be thankful. Okay. What's the furthest you've been from home?
I took a trip to Peru.
Yes.
2 years ago, and that's probably the furthest I've been from home. Not probably, it is.
I don't really know how to answer that question, so I'm just going to skip it.
Okay.
Because when I was places further from here, I lived there, so...
Yeah, so that was your home, so...
I'm a little confused about that one.
How about the furthest you've been from where we are right now? You went to Japan, right? Or
we lived in Japan for a couple years when I was a kid, so I guess that's the answer.
Okay.
We traveled around there. It was very nice. I have very fond memories of all of it. Do you have any special talents?
No.
Yeah, no. Also, no.
No.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
That's a big one. A famous podcaster. No, I don't know. If I could be anything, I think I've said this in our last Q&A, I would love to own a garden center.
Oh, yeah.
And just play with plants all
I
day.
want to be Dangerous Linda, I think.
Oh my God, I'd love to be Dangerous Linda when I grow up.
Dangerous Linda always refers to the world of like psychics and mediums and stuff as the biz. And I really want to be in the biz.
I think we kind of are in the biz.
I think we're like adjacent to the biz.
Yeah, we're close at least.
Because she did make that announcement about us being on the tour, and it was like so exciting to be recognized by Dangerous Linda. I was like, I'm the coolest. Okay. Who was your first best friend?
My first best friend was a girl named Hannah, and she babysat us.
I love that name.
I know. And I think about her a lot. I think she has a couple kids these days.
Aww.
We found her on Facebook once, but I think she no longer has Facebook. Anyway, that was my first best friend. She was a neighbor, and she babysat us, but we were pretty close in age.
Yeah. Cute.
How about you?
I really wish my name was Hannah.
It's a beautiful name.
I guess my first best friend was Charlotte. And that was when we were living in England, and I'm still friends with her on Facebook.
I love that name too. Charlotte is beautiful.
She goes by Charlie.
Oh, that's
She
so
became
cute.
a veterinarian and lives in Australia and has a couple redheaded, beautiful children. And I just look at her and I'm like, man, you really have your shit together, Charlotte. Unlike me.
God, I love that name, Charlotte.
Yeah, she was great. Shout out to Charlotte, who is not listening. Oh, what a horrible question. What is your least favorite thing about yourself? You don't have to answer that.
How much time do you have?
Yeah, that's awful. Why would... it used to be my voice. But then you suckers pay to listen to it, so it cannot be that bad. Yeah, anyway. Funniest moment throughout school?
I hated everything about school. So I don't know if I can even answer that.
Yeah, that's really true. What immediately comes to mind is I was once playing mini golf with resident librarian Megan, and I like fell off a cliff. Like it wasn't all one level. It like kind of spiraled up, and I like went to get my ball at the edge of the little cliff thing, and the ground just crumbled from beneath me, and I fell wearing a dress. I just like fell at the bottom. And then later we were having dinner at Steak and Shake, and I felt a spider crawling up my back, and I had to be like, excuse me, and then like go outside and like
that's a very controlled response to that. I would have ripped my dress off at dinner, screamed, ran around.
Well, also they don't have Steak and Shakes everywhere, but they have really big windows. Like it's like the front of it is just all like a big window. So it was like me outside like, ah! I mean, it's kind of, I don't know.
Hilarious. And what grade were you in?
Maybe senior year of high school.
Okay.
Sometime in high school.
I honestly can't think of a single funny thing ever. I'm sure certainly there was funny things, but
that's kind of funny.
I try not to think about when I was in school.
That's always the thing I bring up is like, if you've ever done like an icebreaker thing and you have to say your most embarrassing moment. I always say that. It's not really that embarrassing. It's like more kind of fun. But I once said that, and then this person was like, oh, lucky spider. I'm like, oh. Gross. Gross. I mean, he was really gay, so I guess it's all right. Okay. 3 things that upset you. Okay, I'll go. State of the world.
I was gonna say
state of the world.
What doesn't upset
state
you
of the world.
These days?
Okay. After that, people who are bad tippers.
Oh yeah.
Nothing is worse than when you think you're friends with someone and you go out to eat, and then that person's like, "I'm gonna tip 5%," and then you're like, "Oh, guess we
can't be friends
We're not
anymore.
friends.
No.
Don't like you." That I would say for sure. People that make jokes about like food stamps.
Yeah,
that's tacky shit. That's completely unacceptable.
Completely.
I mean, there's so much, really.
It's hard for me to even pick just 3.
People who think we don't need libraries anymore.
Yeah, fuck those people.
There was an article recently, it's like, we have Amazon, why do we need libraries? As if those are equivalent in any way.
Yeah.
What? So that, I mean, it's really not hard to get under my skin.
No.
Maybe you've noticed.
Same.
Yeah. One word that describes you. Just a pause.
This is like the most common question, but also like one of the hardest to answer. I feel like.
I don't even.
Weird.
Is spooky bitch one word?
Hyphenate it.
This is hashtag spooky bitch.
Okay.
That's mine.
I like that.
Does that make any sense?
Hashtag spooky
Spooky
bitch.
bitch. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Canada, maybe? No, it has to be relatively warm.
I'm gonna say Spain.
I would love to go live in Peru. I brought that up earlier. Where it's a place I visited. I love that country. I could eat that food all day long.
My reaction is, Samantha, you can't go live in Peru if I'm living in Spain.
Oh God, how would we do this podcast?
Oh no,
we can't figure out how to use Skype. It wouldn't work.
We're just gonna have to stay in Minnesota, guys.
All right.
Well, do you consider yourself a good cook?
No.
Yeah, really no.
Travis does all the cooking for us.
Mac really is our cook. Occasionally I'll cook something, but I have to be like inspired.
I consider myself a good baker, and I really enjoy
I'm
baking.
better at baking,
but I cannot cook, nor do I enjoy it.
And it's just I'm like, I have to feed myself again.
Pretty
God,
much.
it's just so annoying. What is this question? What's on your mind?
What? Is this a grandpa asking this?
Yeah, I don't
know. What
I don't
isn't
know.
on my mind?
Yeah, let's leave that as our last question. Oh no. Okay, what's on your mind? I don't know.
Wedding, the house we're building.
Yeah,
this
Samantha's
podcast.
got a lot on her mind.
Super busy at work. What isn't on my mind is really a better question.
What's on my mind is, how can I make this podcast more about the music I want to talk about instead of Unsolved Mysteries?
This podcast can be whatever we want because it's our podcast.
It's true. All right, we're going to end with 3 things that make you happy.
Oh, okay. My dogs.
Yes.
Seeing their dumb, happy little faces every day.
No, it's true. How did I live without my dogs? I have no idea. I don't remember what that world was like.
I have no idea. Number 2 is audiobooks.
Uh-huh.
I honestly was just thinking today that I would never read as much as I can if it wasn't for audiobooks, and I'm really thankful they exist.
Sure. You need one more thing, Samantha? There's got to be something out there in this whole giant, horrible world that makes you happy.
Polar seltzer water. I don't know. There's all kinds of things that make me happy. Good thing Travis doesn't listen to this because he's like, you didn't even say me.
No, this is not
I'm number 4 after polar seltzer water. What?
This is not like Thanksgiving.
Your family.
Where you have to go. There's a certain thing you have to say. These are just 3 things that make you happy, not the top 3.
Oh, okay.
Not, the only 3 things you can take to a desert island. These are just 3 of the things.
Okay. Houseplants.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm a really boring person.
That's a good answer for you.
I love a houseplant.
You really, really do.
Mm-hmm. How about you? I want to hear it.
Cadbury mini eggs.
Yes.
On clearance after Easter. Yes.
Very specific.
One of the best things that ever happened to me is, and Easter came, I went to the store, they had like a couple bags left, and I bought them, and I slowly rationed them out, I'd eat them. And then I'd be like, oh no, Mac, I'm all out. And Mac would be like, are you? And he would like pull out another one. And he did this 1 year, like 3 or 4 times. He kept having one more. I'd be like, oh no, I don't have any more mini eggs, my favorite. And he'd be like, here's another one.
Is this the best love story ever written?
It was very romantic, honestly. So there you go. There's one. Finding a show on Netflix that I'm actually like enjoying, and there's a bunch of episodes left to watch, and you can just like lean back, content.
And know that you have 20 more episodes
that is
before it's over.
It makes sense that we do a TV podcast because
that's all I do.
It's my truest love. My sister-in-law once posted some meme about like children needing to go outside because people don't have memories of watching TV. And I responded like, no, best memories of my life are watching TV. I realize you're like an athletic person, but I was an indoor child, and my absolute best memories, actually I should have said this for my childhood, my absolute best memories are watching The Simpsons with my brother. Like those are my best childhood memories. So television, because that.
Okay.
When it's like working for you, sometimes that's a struggle. You got to find like a good show that actually has more than stupid England makes shows you love them and there's like 5 episodes.
I know.
Then you have to cry yourself to sleep.
I know. Did Travis and I just finish Nailed It on Netflix, and I almost cried. That could have been my answer for the last time I cried, when I watched the last episode of Nailed It. I missed that show.
Also, the last time I cried was probably the day before I got my period. Let's be real.
Yeah, same.
I don't care if that's too much information. That's just the way that things work.
It's the answer to the question.
It's the answer to the question. I need one more thing that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Shoot. Why am I completely drawing a blank? Nothing.
Here, I'll throw in some things that make me happy. Baked potatoes.
Oh, yeah, sure.
French fries. Anything made out of a potato.
Estate sales.
Yeah.
Going through dead people's shit is my favorite. Particularly if they live in a brick bungalow and they haven't bought anything since 71. And they were somehow also hoarders. Oh.
This is Liz's dream.
Yes. My goal in life is to leave behind a great estate sale. There's nothing I like more than rummaging through people's things, picking out a bunch of stuff that I want, and then going to some old lady to find out how much it costs, and then her looking at like the thread and like just the rant. Like they want you to buy the big stuff and get it out of there. And I've always like picked up just like one book, one whatever, and they're just like, I don't know, $5. Like get out of here. Like they'll seriously be like, you can just have that. We're not even going to charge you. And I'm just like, yes. That's my favorite.
That's great.
Oh, yeah.
Good question.
I'm a sucker for the old Pyrex. So we're sitting by a case of...
There's a lot of old Pyrex in
old
there.
Pyrex for my aunt. Yeah. So I guess that makes me happy.
Yeah.
My dogs. Yeah. You know.
A nice 75-degree day.
Yeah. Yeah. Autumn. A ghost
pumpkin
tour.
spice, because I'm a basic bitch.
Going to pick a pumpkin I love.
Yeah. I like carving a pumpkin.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I mean, it's all love and hate with me. There's so like little middle road.
That's true. Yeah. I'm either seriously annoyed or just full of joy. There's like no in between.
I either want to know everything about it, and I'm going to go check out 5 books from the library. Even if it's something I've just heard of, it's like, oh, well, this is my new favorite thing, which is a little embarrassing and annoying. Or it's just like, really that? Okay, like, wrong, like, you're not, that's a wrong answer. I'm not interested in that at all. Yeah.
All right.
Is that the end
Is that
of
all our
this?
questions?
I think that's the end for now.
This has probably been a reasonably long episode.
I think people have learned more about us than they ever wanted to know.
I think that's true.
So you're welcome.
Thanks for submitting so many creative and funny questions.
Yes.
You all are the best.
Yes.
Should we plug our shit real quick and then get out of here?
Yes. So follow us on all of your social media platforms at Perhaps It's You.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Liz runs the Twitter. I run the Instagram. We both run them like our personal accounts. Sorry about it.
Yeah. I mean, that's just how that world works.
Join our Facebook group. It's a great way to interact with us.
And
That's what
I'm
you're
going
looking
to
for.
put a playlist, whether you like it or not.
Hell yeah. Go check that out. You can just search Perhaps It's You on Facebook. It's the only one. You can email us at perhapsitsyoupodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And is that it? I don't know.
I think that's really it. We only accept 5-star reviews.
Yeah, please review us on Apple Podcasts. We really appreciate it, but only if you're going to give us a 5-star review. Thanks.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.